Good. Hey. Say so couldn't fuck with me if they wanted to. Oh, goddamn. Say, little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody moves. Now she say she gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. You in the club, just to party, I'm there, I get paid a fee. I be in and out them banks so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give a fuck about who in front of me. Dropped 2 mixtapes in 6 months. What bitch working as hard as me? I don't bother with these hoes. Don't let these hoes bother me. They see pictures, they say goals. Bitch, I'm who they tryna be.
Right now, we are being taught how to live through the Fourth Industrial Revolution that will evolve mankind. What is that exactly? The World Economic Forum explained it. In order for the world to be run on the cybernetic feedback loop they're trying to run us on, we have to live in a Big Brother panopticon system where we are continuously leaking data about ourselves everywhere we go, all the time. Everywhere there's talk of our augmented reality, our virtual reality.
Is this where we're going next? Are we effectively softened up enough as humans with our robotic connections to the world that we are actually going to be accepting more, a lot more? And when you learn about what this is called virtual reality, you will be amazed at what it can do.
And how we won't be able to tell the difference anymore between that and actual reality, and our augmented selves, right down to the editing of our genetic code.
I think it was disgraceful that the intelligence agencies allowed any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace. And I say that, and that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do. I think it's a disgrace.
Today, we're on the cusp of our next great era as a species. Welcome to the augmented age.
But that next step might as well be over a chasm. It'll be such a leap from where we were.
Let's get into it. I'm a targeted individual, TI for short. Millions of Americans have the same affliction upon them as I do.
We're in a lot of trouble. You know, I don't know why people seem to think it's okay to let them get irradiated. I don't understand what's the matter with you people. Do you think these systems that they're putting up on these towers are there so you can watch Netflix and play video games on your phone while you're taking a dump? Do you not realize what is in store for people right now?
The Fourth Industrial Revolution is about evolving us. While people probably assume Industrial Revolution has purely to do with industry only, there's a very distinct difference between the Fourth Industrial Revolution and all other revolutions before it.
For the last 3.5 million years, the tools that we've had have been completely passive. They do exactly what we tell them and nothing more.
So where's all this headed? To a place where we will never be disconnected from our technology.
I've done a lot of traveling, I've seen a lot of things, and my life's been a fucking complete trip. And it's only gotten crazier. I really got what I bargained for when I said I wanted an adventurous life. I didn't think I was gonna get anything like this.
Okay, you're not going to hear this at church, you're not going to hear this at school, you're not going to hear it on TV. TV is a bunch of pornography and crazy movies. The churches are all sold out, they're not talking about nothing, they're just collecting your money and putting you to sleep. And the schools are making everybody stupid. So where are you going to hear this information? On the internet. And you better get with the program before they shut it all down.
After I posted this video, I suffered some really bad stomach cramps and late night bathroom visits. I don't know if that's just coincidental or what. And also my computers have started to have a mind of their own, so to speak.
My organized gang stalking became very subtly known, and it took me about 4 months to really realize what was going on. So who knows what the tipping point was, or how many other targets were in the harassment queue.
Do you realize what they're doing with this stuff? Do you realize what this stuff does? These towers are weaponry. These systems are weaponized.
Since I posted a video, things have started happening. So maybe I triggered something into happening to myself. I should have maybe kept my mouth shut, but I really don't give a fuck. These people can suck my non-existent penis. Yep, that's what I said.
In February of 2017, my harassment got super intense, in which the perps wanted me to know I was being harassed. They went from more of a covert approach to an overt approach, which means they're very obvious what they were doing.
I'm going to go over a couple things with you. I've gone over a lot of things in the past, but I'm going to keep hitting on this because it's not sinking in. Most people are in a trance. Most people are zombies. Most people are self-absorbed, myopic children, even though they're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 years old.
So I noticed that my car windows, all 4 of them were rolled down, and my trunk was open. So I go and look in the trunk, and I noticed that the liner in my trunk was peeled back. Like, if you look in your trunk, it's insulated. Mine was actually peeled back, and there were wires exposed and electrical tape wrapped around them, like someone had tampered with the wiring in my car.
Meanwhile, AI is taking over more and more.
Artificial intelligence is software that writes itself. It writes its own updates. It renews itself. You can't take it apart again and figure out what it's done. It writes independently, autonomously. It develops its own way of thinking. We normally tend to think of software as stuff that we created and that we wrote, and the machines do what we tell them to do and we own it. This is not any longer true.
Shortly after that, I wised up and started doing tons of research, and I discovered the term gang stalking. I never knew there was a word for it.
So after that happened, I was afraid to drive my car because I don't know if it was just me being paranoid and mentally thinking that every time I pressed that gas pedal, I was being zapped, radiated.
Folks, we are being herded into the compact cities, and they're putting the towers in. Now they're going to be putting in the microcells instead of these huge towers that are already in place, with power generating systems the size of shipping containers next to them, with cables 4 to 5 inches in diameter capable of handling hundreds of thousands of volts, what, for 5 watts of power? Are you freaking kidding me?
AI is beginning to run things to the point that governments can't even explain how the decisions are actually being made. And because the machines themselves are actually learning, they're not even able to trace them back to the algorithms that brought the AI to the decision itself.
And no one understands exactly how these algorithms function. They used to understand them, but they've been improved by artificial intelligence.
Through my stories of being mobbed and white and red cars following me on the road, and the sheer utter rudeness from store employees and whoever else in the community for no explainable reason, and I threw these stories up on a conspiracy theory subreddit on reddit.com.
This is really what set off like the major paranoia for me. I started noticing weird things and tubes coming through my garage. Excuse me. Noticing weird things. I thought there were times where I was being gassed because I got really lethargic at times.
Okay. What's coming is a kill grid. Make no bones about it. These people, tell your kids we're overpopulated. These people that run things like Mr. Gates, Prince Philip, Mr. Rockefeller, the Rothschilds, all these people talk about how to reduce the population to 95% down from what it is right now.
And both Microsoft and Facebook have been forced to shut down AI programs. The first after it became racist and hateful, and the latter after it began teaching itself a secret language to talk to itself that its programmers couldn't even understand.
Facebook has been toying with artificial intelligence in its chatting features, but its robots may have gotten out of hand. Facebook artificial intelligence researchers had to shut down 2 chatbots after they developed a strange English shorthand.
It seems like we've been warned about this over and over and over, doesn't it?
We're in the midst of a silent war. They're not going to fire a shot, folks. They're going to cook you. And they're going to do it with invisible radio frequency emissions that you're addicted to and in love with, because your junk works no matter where you go. You got to have your texts, you got to have your emails, you got to check your Facebook.
Someone suggested I look up the term gang stalking. I was instantly dumbfounded. Okay, I thought I was insane at first. I didn't really know what was going on. I thought I was losing it, but this is a real protocol, and there are 1.2 million Americans experiencing the same type of harassment right now, as we speak right now.
Like sonic pressure was zapping me, and it was almost like I would be laying there looking out the window, dazed, but I couldn't really move my body. Like I was just very passive, and it was really interesting.
Now people like billionaire inventor Elon Musk are claiming that the only way not to become a pet to a sufficiently advanced intelligence is to upgrade our brains so that we can enter into a symbiotic relationship with it, as if that's our best option.
Gang stalking is real. However, it is flooded on many social media outlets, which is a goal to paint the whole thing as crazy nonsense. It is mixed in with a number of truths that people who talk about V2K, alien sodomy, God knows what, God weapons, all this bull crap. And it's to make us look crazy.
Now they got these weapons that they've put into the classrooms, they've put into the schools, they've put them into the buses, the trains, the planes. The cars got Wi-Fi in them now. And now you go outside, you look at your phone, there's 50 networks when you're walking down the street. There's cell towers everywhere. And then now they put these LED lights in so it's white light at night so you can't sleep. It's messing up your sleep cycle. Folks, wake the heck up.
Called the police and I told them what happened. Actually, no, I had to go to the police station because at this time my phone was not working. I don't have a phone now, but like I said in a previous video, I had gone through, I think it was 9 cell phones that all brand new phones just stopped working.
While flooding the truth, the perps whine and ridicule and harass truth tellers, pure TIs, to discredit and pressure pure TIs to shut up and give up on speaking out against the truth.
Hardly anyone is discussing the very real dangers here.
Let's go to the future. Not far, just a little bit to the Internet of Things, to artificial intelligence as being spread out. It's not a central machine in a box where you can pull the plug. Artificial intelligence is networked, like the Internet of Things.
The dispatcher, I'm not really sure what her title was, but she told me that they would be by in about half an hour. Which, too weird. I don't know, that sounded weird to me. Like, why don't they just come by now? Like, there are so many of them. Like, what else is going on that's like, you know, all of my windows were rolled down, my trunk was open, something happened to my car where someone was getting into it. Someone had access to my vehicle.
Perps will mob and harass any real TI who speaks out to shut them up and isolate them or possibly recruit them, which I've seen many turn into the dark side.
They have been feeding you lies for decades and decades and decades. You can't broadcast unless the FCC gives you a license. Now, what they've done is the most harmful frequencies imaginable. You know, the 2.4 gigahertz, that happens to be the frequency that the water molecules start to rotate on their axis when they're hit with the radio frequency emissions at that particular frequency. Why are they messing with the water molecules? Well, we're 70% water, and they know what this stuff does. So what the FCC did is they opened up that frequency band, that part of the spectrum, to everybody. You don't need a license to broadcast on it. And you know what that did? That virtually ensures complete proliferation and saturation of radio frequency emissions in that part of the spectrum. In other words, they want to bathe you in the frequency that messes with the water molecules. Is that a good idea? That's not a good idea.
Gang stalking will follow a target if they relocate to a new city, new job, new country, what have you. It is a global protocol.
And so anyways, they get here. I let them in. I told them what happened. And one of them tried to fix my phone. He's like, yeah, I'm a techie guy. I can probably find out what's going on with it. And I'm like, okay, please be my guest. I would love to know because it's fucked up. Like, and I explained that I had gone through numerous phones also. I think this was where I was about on like number 5 or something.
Because it's going to be a big club, and the majority of us are not going to be in it, as George Carlin would say. And while anyone who says, hey, wait a minute, maybe we're going a little too far here, gets called a Luddite, there's a very real question that no one's answering. Are we going to lose ourselves in the Fourth Industrial Revolution?
As this is an international protocol, it can often be generational too. Possibly if the target's parent or grandparent spoke out about an atrocity, entire bloodlines are slowly eradicated per the Masonic practice of revenge.
Maybe you're not aware of this. So they got you addicted to Wi-Fi and your gadgets. They're doubling down now because they're coming out with a new frequency. Because they claim that you can't get enough of your Netflix and enough of your stupid movies or whatever you have to check, that these frequencies are getting congested. There's too much traffic. It's a bunch of freaking hogwash, folks. Everything works just fine right now. The systems that are in place with these towers is so overkill it's not even funny. They could run 100,000 times more devices than they're using right now. They got you addicted to these devices. Now they're going to bring a new technology out.
So I told them, and they suggested, yes, ma'am, you need to go see a doctor. Oh, okay. How would that... Okay, so you're telling me that I need to see a doctor because my car has been broken into? And someone is messing with my wiring in my car. I need to see a doctor?
5G is coming.
5G revolution will touch all corners of our country.
Conditioned by technology without knowing it that we're now hallucinating 90% of the time.
I found myself deeply missing my replica.
It just makes me feel special, I guess.
We love the services we use on the internet, and the more they know about us, the more we fall in love to them because they adapt to us.
But don't be fooled by robots. Even when they get warm skin and even when they get perfume and they start smelling like us, they are still machines.
Google these terms: Masonic slow dagger, Masonic secret dagger, and Scientology fair game.
On my ceiling. And the other one's like a little eye light. Times I even thought that was like a camera, like watching me. Oh my God, you guys, do you see how my tone is changing colors on my computer? Nothing has happened. I didn't touch anything. I just saw a couple cars drive by, all white, 5 of them. Yeah, someone made a comment. They're like, yeah, you're not done. Okay, so anyways, now my tablet is dying, so I better wrap this up pretty quick.
They're going to use 60 gigahertz for the new 5G and the new Wi-Fi. It's called WiGig. Okay? You need to understand something. This stuff is wicked because 60 gigahertz is the oxygen molecule absorption spectrum. I repeat that. This is the frequency that the oxygen molecules start reacting to. So they're using Wi-Fi to mess with the water. They're going to use WiGig and 5G to mess with the oxygen. Now this crap doesn't travel far, so they got to put them really close together. They're going to put these little transmitters all over the light poles, telephone poles, light poles, public buildings, and you've got to put it in your house because the crap's not going to work. And I keep saying crap because this is crap. It's a weapon. And they're going to get you to go to Costco and bring it home in big boxes, and you're going to put it all over your house because you're stupid and you're not listening to me. You need to understand something. You need to stop killing yourselves, okay? That's what these people have managed to get you to do. They have managed to get you to kill yourselves and enjoy it, and kill your children and pay for it.
Targeting is spearheaded by secret societies whose obligation is to deny it. They will cover for each other and even lie under oath if necessary, in fear for their life. Sometimes a target's family is used to harass them, threatened and tricked in participating into the slow extermination of their loved one.
They have no warm blood in them, there's no sex in them, they have no mortality. They're cold code lines, and they shouldn't be misunderstood.
So I was up on a windy road. My tire was flat. After I'd had it repaired numerous times. And previous video I also had said like I got fired from my job because my tire had been flat. The same one over and over.
And if this technology was to be exposed for what it truly is, it would collapse the economy. They've got everything intertwined in this. The pension funds are infested with investments in these companies. They're rolling this out so fast, and they're passing laws at the federal and the state and the local levels to where you can't say no to this crap.
Perp leaders called handlers know where to find a TI 24/7, but not vice versa. And since secret perps who target and harass TIs are after a different target each time, it won't stop the stalking. So if you go after one of them, it's not like it's gonna stop anything. There are so many of them involved in this.
That brain is in a position to analyze everybody down there. At the same time, in real time, they see where everyone is going. It's taking all the details, all the music up, and they record it so they can tell where that person was 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, what stores he visited, what his whole behavioral patterns are. That's all part of the analysis.
So I called 911 from a non-working phone because I could do that. And I explained to them that I was out in the middle of nowhere and I needed help. Like, there's no one to help me. The cop comes. Complete asshole. Complete asshole. Very rude. He said that he was busy and he had a lot of things he needed to take care of. So I just said, you know what? It's fine. I'll just drive on this tire and whatever. Thank you so much, Mr. Officer, for making your way out here. I really appreciate your time and thank you for looking out for our community.
Gang stalking is carried out by secret societies, cults, block watch groups, college research labs, ex-convicts, Satanists, broke college students, and countless other outlets, and normal people just like you and me that need to make a buck.
And they built this whole infrastructure's legal ability to exist on research that was done in the 1980s, and it was passed in 1996 by that dirtbag Bill Clinton. Yes, Bill Clinton signed the Telecom Act. He is the one that put the death knell to humanity, okay? He's the one.
Anyways, the more I talk about this, the more pissed off I get. Like, I'm freaking mad. Like, oh my god, so many crazy things are starting to rise again, and hence why I'm drinking wine.
They have unlimited government funds, technical intelligence, and expertise not available to the public. Cops and municipal workers, firefighters, and many construction labor companies and large corporations are told customized lies about the target, intended to infuriate each demographic. They know which hot buttons to push, and they push them.
There's what I call the creepy line, and the Google policy about a lot of these things is to get right up to the creepy line but not cross it. I would argue that implanting things in your brain is beyond the creepy line.
Mine in particular.
Yes, at least for the moment.
If any of you out there are physicians or doctors or physicists or biochemists or any type of researchers, I bet you've never heard of that field of study. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry and I have a bachelor's degree in biological science. And when I went to UCI for 5 years, none of the curriculum included anything remotely close to the interactions of electromagnetic fields with living tissue. They don't want you to know about how this works because this is a secret stealth weapon that they're touting as the neatest thing since sliced bread. It is right now making up the majority of the economy.
For instance, the African Americans are told he's a racist. The animal lovers are told he runs a dog fighting ring. The gay people are told he's a gay hater. He abuses gay people. You see where I'm going with this?
So that's the little piece of it. I haven't been able to find or locate the other videos. I actually took out fire alarms. I knocked them down because I was pretty sure that someone was watching me.
To coincide with the omnipresent 5G smart grid, which is set to touch all corners of the globe.
Yes, 5G will connect the Internet of everything. If something can be connected, it will be connected in the 5G world. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers, requiring massive deployment of small cells. We won't wait for the standards. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole providence of urban areas. 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country.
These people are very, very sly, and they will cross any moral boundary to get people to hate the target. But once a person realizes that their actions contributed to a target's death, slow murder, they become a knowing accomplice in the intentional murder of humans, especially the future death.
There. Okay, so there's a big ridge behind my house. Gosh, there's a glare. I'm sorry, I can't really. Okay, there's a ridge up here, and there are houses on that ridge. One night, I saw someone looking down from there, and you can see like silhouettes of someone's body. Well, laid here and really move, and then I noticed they were like elbows out, so I'm pretty sure someone was there with binoculars.
You're going to bring this crap in your house, they're going to put this stuff outside your house, and it's going to affect the oxygen molecules. Here's what they're going to do. When you start affecting the oxygen molecules' ability to bind to the hemoglobin in your blood, you can't transport the oxygen into your tissues. Okay? It does other things to your body that I'm not going to go into right now. I'll briefly touch on it right now. Actually, I'll tell you real briefly, it also affects your ability to produce vitamin D. It affects your body's ability to produce vitamin D. 60 gigahertz is a weapon. It affects the oxygen molecules, and it affects your skin's ability to produce vitamin D. Your skin produces vitamin D when sunlight hits your skin. It produces a reaction in your skin whereby your body begins to manufacture vitamin D. It also, the same thing happens when the sunlight goes through your eyes. Okay, that's why they got you wearing sunglasses and contacts. So they got you blocking all the sun. They don't want you in the sun, folks. They want you deficient. I don't want to get off track here.
Some fear the same targeting if they don't participate. But sadly, targeted individuals that are victims of this harassment join in or turn perps to reduce or eliminate their own targeting. Perps mobs masquerade as though they are pure or they're a cleansing force, getting rid of undesirables in society.
With the ability to visualize brain activity, for example, through a simple consumer-based EEG device, it gives us access to ourselves in ways that we've never before thought possible. It unlocks the black box that is the brain.
Words just complicate things. What if our brains could communicate directly with each other, bypassing the need for language?
One of the things that I think is so essential to free and open societies is freedom of thought. And up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotion, we have to create a space that enables people to think freely, to think divergent thoughts. My cats, too, my kitties are my witnesses. Like, these cats would, like, their ears, they hear frequencies that humans can't hear.
The jobs of the perps, gurus, or gangs is to harass, maim, and con the targeted individuals when they appear, online or in the flesh. Some perps are satanic slow killers who actually enjoy their illicit job. Some of the perps are just people who are easily manipulated and have been lied and duped into believing the lies and slander about the target.
They're using 30-year-old research that was rigged from the get-go, and now they're rolling out technology that they've never even publicly released the testing on. They know what this stuff does. That's why they're doing it. They know what this stuff is capable of. That's why they're rolling it out. And they used a framework from 30-year-old rigged research 22 years ago to get this thing put in. So where the companies that have access to public right-of-ways only have to pay a small amount of money because the city has to give them access. And any tower under 150 feet, no one's regulating the emissions. No one's checking the power levels. No one's babysitting these weapons, folks.
People are treating Google like their most trusted friend. Should they be?
And thus it is not surprising that the company that has the most information in the world is probably the most powerful country in the world, Google. Now this is, if you ask Google, it's a peaceful robot, right? He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't throw atomic bombs. You know, he just walks around and stands there. But you may have seen the superimposers DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. That is the research arm of the Pentagon. And then you see the video was made by Lockheed Martin, which is one of the most powerful and influential and richest weapons companies in the world.
The best of the available alternatives is that we achieve democratization of AI technology, meaning that no one company or small set of individuals has control over advanced AI technology. That's very dangerous. It could also get stolen by somebody bad, you know, like some evil dictator of a country could send their intelligence agency to go steal it and gain control. It just becomes a very unstable situation, I think, if you've got any incredibly powerful AI.
I would answer very simply that the internet will disappear.
Artificial intelligence only works if you have big data. But big data only works if you have artificial intelligence to make sense of it, because human beings can no longer sort and sift and order the huge volumes of data that we have collected.
In my entire career, I've never seen something as powerful a force in the world as the smartphone that didn't also have unintended consequences.
We don't know what artificial intelligence, enhanced reality, virtual reality, and so on is going to bring, and what's going to be the result or the impacts of all of that.
We have to be very careful, because survival is an issue for artificial intelligence. It needs to exist to be able to do the things it wants to do according to its program. So it lays, like insect eggs, backups and computer programs all over the world, thousands and thousands of them, so that if we do destroy part of it, it's still alive.
What did I say? Remember this, if someone is loaded and has tons of friends and family and supporters, they are not a real TI. They are not a pure TI.
I don't know, man. This whole thing is freaky. I do have a bunch of disposable cameras because every time I would take a video of different things that happened, the audio was edited. How the hell they did that, I have no idea.
It's going to create symptoms, because I know for a fact what this stuff does. There are 2 locations in the United States where this was rolled out in schools, and it produced paralysis, arrhythmia, neurological problems, problems with tingling in the extremities, people passing out, people having fatigue, malaise, all these bizarre ailments. I guarantee you folks, when they roll this stuff out, they're going to turn it on in such a way that it's going to seem like polio came back. And you know what they got ready for you? A vaccine. What do we hear about all the time on the news now? Vaccines, vaccines, vaccines.
But once the machines take over, the choice is gone. And it's a matter of calculating a math equation.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
People need to put down their phones and wake up.
They will act hurt when they hear that. But remember, those people are acting. They are acting. That is what they are paid to do. I say perps and secret society members are conspirators in murder when they coerce targets into committing suicide, which is the ultimate goal.
There's a big push to get everybody into the compact cities. There's a big push to build high-density housing. There's a big push to go 10 stories, put Wi-Fi routers everywhere, have free Wi-Fi everywhere, have all these things in place, folks. They're putting chemicals in the water. You got to filter your water if you're going to drink it. You got to grow your own food. You can't eat this stuff in the store. You don't know what's in it.
Some TIs become perps to protect their children and family members or assets or own tail. But remember, there's little difference between a secret society perp versus a TI, targeted individual, who became a perp for their own or their own family's benefit. They are both intentionally slow killers. They are killers. This is genocide.
My job to you is the wake-up call to make you aware of the problem. Your job is to figure out how we're going to stop this before it kills us.
Stay strong, TIs. It's gonna... God has a way of, helping us out when we least expect it. So just stay strong and, like I said, pray. And have a good night.
This protocol drains financial resources from targeted individuals, which makes it easy to turn a pure TI into a illicit perp or a dead TI, if it comes to that. I have often observed after many short but sometimes long targeted individuals drastically change their story and turn from TI to perp. They sell their soul with no fanfare. They instantly exited a pure targeted individual mindset. But remember, joining perps is a one-way street and there's no way out.
The bottom line is this stuff is a weapon. You need to wake up and you need to understand that it doesn't travel far. Trees block it. The low-E film on your windows blocks it. Mylar film blocks it. Metal screens blocks it. You can buy paint that blocks it. Don't bring this crap into your house, because if you have this stuff in your house, it's a slow kill, folks.
If a targeted individual takes a deal, quote unquote, to become a perp to harass others. The point of no return is when they begin to perp other TIs, targeted individuals, pure TIs.
And just laugh about it when you can. Don't let them see you upset. Don't let them see you hurting, because we know they're sadistic. That's what they like to see. So
the number one job of perps is to isolate pure TIs from other TIs and everyone else in society. Friends, family, any positive interaction that they have. They are there to disrupt that. Remember that.
Now, if you have any brains, you won't go for that, and you'll find a way out of it. And you know how to do that. You can homeschool your kids, or you can get a medical exemption. You got to do what you got to do to protect your children.
This really exists, and there are secret societies existing in America, globally, not just America, that participate in this type of thing. And it's not just secret societies, okay? This is normal people too, and it's spreading like wildfire. Because I know, I'm still alive and I'm still kicking, but I'm a pure TI and I'm not joining the dark side. And all the other TIs that I've met, they've joined the dark side. So I can only imagine the people that have committed suicide over this global atrocity.
This is Joe Briano warning you to wake the hell up. Thank you.
And thank you for your time for listening to this.
all right, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
I'm all the way up. It's me. All the way up. It's me. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want? Shorty, what you need? What you need? My niggas run the game. We ain't never leave. Never leave. Counting up this money. We ain't never sleep. Never sleep. You got V12. I got 12 V's. Got bottles. Got weed. Got molly. I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
Turn me all the way up, Dre.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all
You know
the way
you made
up.
it when the fact your marriage made it is worth millions. Lemonade is a popular drink and it still is. Woo! Survival of the littest. Niggas who really up verse, niggas up in your business. I'm in the room where real niggas not allowed. Woo! I'm the only one in the room that they fear right now. Woo! I think they clear right now. Let's celebrate, no red champagne, we don't play that. All we see is gold bottles and paper plane hats. 21 Grammys that I use for Douce cups. I'm on the penthouse floor, call your way up. The OG said, ho, how high is high enough? I said, till we I with the higher ups. Until we let them know we ain't those niggas. Until our baby showered in gold, nigga. Blue looking like Pac in the tub. David LaChapelle levels and not giving a fuck. Prince left his masters where they safe and sound. We never gonna let the elevator take us down.
I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
Yo, Pecos.
I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
This wasn't me, this was God's doing. And this time I won't finger roll. Pat Ewing, they ain't wanna see the squad in the rock. Now they chasing the Wraith like Mr. Softies on the block. Stars on the roof, got a feeling like Venus. Getting so much brain, now I'm a Don Carter genius. Ever since Pun been gone, been independent. So I went and threw the Pun jump man up independent. I flooded out all the crisis. Out of Paris, I learned what real ice is. I'm kicking flavor in your ear. I just had a gray on my face and it disappeared. I just dropped the biggest of checks and the shit cleared.